We were in Indianapolis the night before our setup of our antique show. I woke up at about 3 in the morning with a toothache, and within a half an hour of just sitting around, it moved down to my throat. And at that time, we thought we should call down our partners who came downstairs, and we talked to them for a while, and it was decided that we should probably call an ambulance.
Sean, your wife just couldn't figure out how to take a lead scalpel.
They took us down to St. Vincent Hospital, which was like 5 minutes down the road, and they got there and they ruled out a heart attack right away. So I was relieved because, yay, it wasn't a heart attack. We were there about an hour and they were doing a couple of tests and that, and then the ER, doctor on call, came in and said there was a little something going on with his heart, but they wanted to take an x-ray and see what was going on. A heart surgeon came in and said that Dad needed an aortic dissection, and then started to talk about it would be months worth of recovery and what was going on. And all of a sudden I started to realize that this was a little bit more serious than we had anticipated. They took him off to surgery, and then everything started.
Aaron, let's go to school. Come on.
Being 11 at the time, I mean, I didn't always know exactly what was going on necessarily, but I knew my dad was sick, and even though I knew that, at the time I had so much family, coming to visit me. My grandma stayed with me while both my parents, were away. Friend-wise, it was difficult because, no one else had been in my situation, in their lives yet.
There was a couple times where basically everything seemed like it was fine and good, and then I basically said, okay, well, if something happens and you need me, just say you need me, and then there'd be a couple times in the middle of the night or something, I'd get a call and saying I need you up here.
It's his first day of school.
Other than the aortic dissection, I ended up losing, I believe, 85% of my small intestine. I also had 3 colostomy bags. And at the same time, I had a hernia. But, all that together kind of forced a lot of different issues, meaning my kidneys shut down, liver shut down. They, like I said, they put me in an induced coma.
One more wave.
So your aorta is sort of like a piece of plywood. There's different layers to it, and Dad's had started to shred.
Thinking Dad might not pull through, or having to make the calls numerous times of, all right, are we making the right call, or I think that's where the stress and the lack of sleep probably started to build a little bit. But overall, I didn't really think about it at the time, but I'm sure, the more I thought about it after the fact, that it probably changed me a little bit of just a little more no nonsense, of stuff when you're dealing with, hey, this person could die.
Oh, God, that is scary.
Not being able to have my family around me, because that's a big part of my life, is my family. And not being able to be around them just kind of broke my heart. I felt bad for Erin, especially because she was had to be uprooted and moved to a new place, lost all of her friends, had to be thrust into a situation which she was not used to having, and new school, new friends. So yes, it was a very, very hard time for me, just knowing that she wasn't able to do the things she wanted to be able to do.
She was 11, but I knew she was in good hands, and my biggest fear was not being able to bring Sean back to her.
Okay, let me see your backpack. Turn around. Oh, boy. All right.
As a mom, obviously you don't want anything ever to not go right for your kid. So that was the hardest part.
I don't want to scare anyone, but I just want people to appreciate all the people they have in their life, because you never know when something like this is going to happen. And he had a 95% chance of not making it, but he was in the 5%. And I think about that and I can't even imagine it. I can't imagine what life would be like without my dad.
All right, let's go.
More importantly than anything else I've ever learned is family is everything. And that's my wife, who didn't leave my side for 2 years straight, not for one day. I can't even imagine having to do that. And how could you ever repay that? Not even with love can you ever repay something like that. My children mean more to me than anything. And family is everything. Yep.
It's amazing what the human body can do and endure. And again, it's amazing too what love and support can do in all situations. I don't doubt that having, mom by his side, having that voice to hear or try to push you through, I'm sure, probably doesn't remember it, but I'm sure it helps.
Life is short. Family is everything, but just, savor your moments, because you never know what can happen. And but, go on vacation and enjoy your family. Have a good time, because you never know what could happen. But family's got your back, and I'm really fortunate because I've got a great family.